Welcome everyone to a special episode of the Passionate Pulse podcast. Today we are shaking things a bit. Instead of focusing on a specific guest's professional journey, we are delving into a vibrant intersection of our music and life. And who better to guide us through this sonic exploration than our esteemed guest Vidushi Gauri Tai Pathare, a trailblazer known for her innovative fusion of classical music styles. Joining us for this lively discussion are individuals from diverse backgrounds, each bringing their unique perspectives. From the realm of therapy, we welcome the insightful Nipurna Patel, bringing her wisdom from the Bay Area. Joining us from the tech world are the dynamic duo of Samved Divekar and Tanmay Bichu, both hailing from the Bay Area. Notably, Tanmay's heritage as a tabla player promises to infuse our discussion with an extra layer of musical depth. And of course, we are honored to have an esteemed guest, Vidushi Gauri Tai Pathare, whose presence enriches our conversation with unparalleled depth and richness. Together, we are unraveling the profound connection between music and life, exploring the transformative power of classical music and delving into nuances of voice production techniques. So buckle up for a fun-filled and insightful journey into the magical world of music and beyond.
Hi, my name is Nipurna. I am a friend of Gauri's from Mumbai. We got to know each other many years ago. And ever since we met, we've bonded like sisters.
Yes.
It is such excited pleasure to have her here in my hometown in Sunnyvale. And I hope to see her many more times.
Good. Thank you. Good to see you.
Hi everyone. I'm Samved. I'm actually Gauritai's cousin, and I've been living in the US for past 9 years now. But I've listened to her in the past, as well as I've eaten food that she has cooked for all of us, and I can vouch for the food. It's amazing, and her singing is amazing as well. So that's why I'm here. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Tanmay. I'm also a musician. I play tabla, and I've been here in the Bay Area for the past 6 years. My day job is I work at Apple. I do camera research, and I do tabla over the evening and over the weekends. And today is the first time I actually met Gauri Tai. I've heard a lot about her from my younger brother who plays harmonium, and my parents. They have attended a lot of her concerts back in India.
He played with me also.
He played with, and they spoke very highly of her. So I'm excited to know you more and hopefully hear more of you.
Hi, I'm Pradali, Passionate Pulse podcast host, you all know. And she was my guest. I'm so delighted to meet her. And this is an informal setting where we all are, just sitting, relaxing, having good food, good time. So it's a great evening in Bay Area, and I'm so happy to have her here.
Yeah, what shall I say? There's a lot to say. First of all, thank you so much, Pranali, and thank you, Passionate Pulse. You please have it. They really make
Thank you, Kevin.
good soup. Thank you. And yes, thank you, Vishnuji, for making this place available for this informal chat and gathering. And it's been a pleasure. This is my 7th concert tour to the US and Canada, as I mentioned in our podcast also. And every time the applause is getting bigger, and I'm getting a lot of blessings, I would say, and love and support from more and more people. And I'm getting associated with new people, rekindling the old friendships. And so it's been an amazing journey. So very happy to be here.
So I like to start with Tanmay because, he plays tabla. He knows how to accompany classical singers or others who write music as well. So maybe if he has any question we'll like to have, and Gauri Tai is here to answer. And just to let you know, she's also developed a nice workshop for the voice culture. I'm not sure if you have heard of those tips or guidelines from her, but just to let you know, some inputs.
A voice culture, I don't know. I'm a tabla player, so
Yes.
I don't really think much about it. I'm pretty sure vocalists or people who think about it will have questions about it. For me, since I'm a tabla player, I would like to ask, what qualities do you look for in a tabla player when you have or choose someone to accompany with you? Or what things do you like? What things do you don't like? and
Okay.
what are general guidelines about how to accompany vocal music?
Vocal music. That's a very interesting question. Thanks for asking me this, because this is the basic and earnest need of any vocalist. That, see, some vocalists are more inclined towards laikari. Some like their gaiki is such, or the gharana gaiki, the stylized gaiki is in such a way that the lay itself requires lot of decorative filigree from the tabla artist from the starting of the avartans. But some gaikis are such, or some temperaments than the gaikis, I would say, because nowadays we are fusing two or more gaikis and establishing the statement or the style. So those who emphasize on the alap section more, they like the basic, clean, neat and non-decorated kind of a, but ledar theka. And not only the theka, see, even the metronome or the itabla pro will give you the clean and neat theka.
Right.
But the fed in and fed out, the human touch to that theka again, because you're giving the singer see, when I say x-axis is swar and y-axis is lay, and what we do in between is the graph, and that is the statement. So when you are providing, like Tanpura is providing swar, the tabla player has to provide the accurate theka. But then there are the subtleties of the fed in, fed out, then emphasizes, then how the tal, the alap is unfolded, and how the mukhda, with which kind of poise or softness or with assertion the mukhda is coming. You have to go hand in hand with that, and you have to complement that feeling of that moment. And this is where you have to have the lay study very well, very good mastery of the lay. But you have to unlearn it and be with the flow with the alap without deviating from the lay. So this is all abstract, spiritual, and works on the subconscious level. Then working on the content first. And this is where the skill of the tabla accompaniment artist lies. And there are many tayyar, we say, tabla players right now. But, and they give, some of them even give the extremely well metered lay. But still, it doesn't feel alive. So you have to push and break that ceiling to make it feel alive without decorating it. That is the exact skill that is required for vocals.
Yeah, that's a great. Thank you.
Thank you. So, since I'm in the voice field, but I'm not a singer. I mean, I know many singers. This is a general myth we have that related with the food and the voice.
Okay.
That you should be avoiding certain type of food in order to, protect your voice for a longevity or something. And also before the concert or something, some disciplines have to be followed. But I see you in exact opposite way. For you, it's food
before concert. No, I won't stretch it. I won't be that adventurous. But yes, I won't mind having pani puri or achar or whatever ice creams.
So, would you like to unfold some of these myths or, food and a voice relation?
Yeah. I don't think food plays a bigger role. It is just a SOS thing that, see, today if it is cold here than my native place, and I should avoid ice cream. Say, probably I have to perform or give a recording where the voice quality is even amplified in such a way that minute impurities or changes or mistakes can be magnified. Then I have to be extra careful. So I can't indulge with khatta, dahi, imli and extreme cold things or achar. But that is just SOS, so that I keep this esophageal tract clean, which helps me while exhaling and producing the sound. Because sound is produced when you exhale and the vocal cords are vibrating against the air beam, and the pressure that is applied is from your stomach. So you need the respiratory as well as the digestive tract. Your cough is also coming out and all the acid reflux can come out. So it's all, I would say, not much technical, but physiological thing. But technique is the main thing which you need to conquer and master. And if you're technically correct, then you don't have to worry much about all these things.
Recently, I have attended many satsangs and also invited people into my home for satsangs. And as in satsang, I mean a bhajan,
Yes.
Event. And this is something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, but never really went to do. And for the first time at
Okay.
the 9th Navratre at my house, we had a satsang and I sang a bhajan. And, it was such a joyful thing for me. I cannot tell you. It is a big, long time wish.
Unfulfilled.
Wish that I fulfilled that day. And I enjoyed it so much. So my question to you is, for somebody like me who's abused their voice all through the life by eating all the wrong things and screaming, yelling, and doing the wrong thing, is it too late for me to train my voice to actually do some bhakti singing? Because I cannot tell you the joy I felt when I sang that
Yes.
one bhajan
Yes.
at Navratra.
Yeah. Your question is very legit, but the way you put it is very interesting. Because when you said you abused your voice by two things, by eating wrong things and yelling. First of all, like I mentioned, food doesn't abuse the voice. The wrong voice production abuses the voice. Another thing is by yelling. Yes, by yelling one can abuse the voice. But believe you me, I am also a mom, and when I felt like today, because I am regularly into riyas for a daily 6-7 hours, and aaj awaaz thak gaya hai, probably I should speak less today, or probably I'll give a break to my riyas. There are days when we do that, and I'm kind of trying to play it a low key that day, and that is the day I go hypertensive because of some or the other thing happening at the kids' end, and I'm yelling at the top of my voice about something. I've been through this roller coaster. And so, as long as you don't overdo it, you don't abuse the voice, and food doesn't abuse the voice. Secondly, age no bar for doing the voice culture or singing. See, what abuses the voice is the wrong voice production, and the voice culture techniques are the techniques which help you to use the entire system. It's not, voice doesn't come from here. It's just the voice box and the vocal cords are resonating against the air pressure, which is generated, or the acceleration to that air is generated from the core system. And then how the posture should be, how the mouth position should be, how the pressure should be, what are the vowels, what is length of breath, and so many aspects. And accordingly, the voice culture techniques are there, and that's why we are here to teach. And so age no bar, unless and until you are seriously physically very weak or ill, or your voice is abused to that level where you are already getting a bifurcated voice because of over abusive use over the prolonged period. In some households, I have seen that the entire household has a acquired habit because elders are speaking in a higher note, constantly louder voice and higher note. Then the child also starts talking like that, and everybody is, speaking in the higher note or in a louder form. In some professions, it becomes mandatory to overuse your voice, and then lecturers or whatever, so many professions which require the voice to be used for more than normal hours. That is the time when you can abuse the voice. Otherwise, normal voice can always be groomed.
So there's hope for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so my question is actually in conjunction with the same theme. So have you experienced any problem like this, like by doing riyas? Have you ever done so much riyas that you actually ran into issues with your voice and
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. I have, because I'm a computer software graduate, and because in my household, I'm not an artist's child per se. There is no artist legacy in our family. Everybody is probably the doctor's family, parents being doctors. So they all loved music, they encouraged music, but the thing is, I didn't have the slightest cue or confidence or even inclination towards the thought that I will take up this as my profession. or I'm capable of doing professional level singing. But I went on learning and practicing, and I wanted to try my hands at playback, everything in that adolescent and the teenage that one wants to experiment. And then when I became very serious about classical music, and one day I discovered, no, this is my calling, I started doing a lot of riyaz. I suddenly thought that I wanted to make up for the lost years. Some notion was set in my head, and I was 18, 19, and I started doing a lot of riyaz. And yes, because of that overuse, and I didn't have the correct techniques. I was also experimenting with my voice and slightly copying my guru's voice, which is very normal to begin with. So then I encountered this voice issues, and my vocal cords got swollen. And this is how, when I discussed this with my Guruji Abhishek Bua, he directed me to Saiduddin Dagar, who helped me. I was training under him for 1.5 years. And he didn't teach me per se the Dhrupad style, but he taught me the techniques of riyaz which are used in Dhrupad, which are useful for voice grooming. First of all, I observed complete maun. He said, stop doing riyaz. Then he gave me some Unani medicines, herbal medicines, and some kriyas. And then slowly started with this vocal technique. And that's how I regained the control of my voice.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm also not from the musical background, or we don't have, because the music is it's a listenership for us. Like we enjoy music, so we just play it around, and there is no particular genre, but whatever that suits good, we listen.
Yeah.
But early in the days where we had the radio days, and I think our parents continued to be the fond of radio, although there was TV and other channels. So we could hear Natya Sangeet, we could hear the classical bass, or the classical touch music.
Yes.
So now I'm at a stage where I can enjoy those concerts full length as well.
Correct.
Although after I think 2 decades, I heard the first one, which was full length classical. That was this weekend. Most of them are diluted now, so we can still go attempt and hear and enjoy.
Yeah.
But hearing them full length needs to have that acquired test. So how do I build that test in my kid? He's bringing up here. They are just 5-year-old, but I can see that he's tuning into more of a Western. I don't have any holdback to it, but that's what he understands much better, or he can relate, or he understands those words. So how, as a mom, I also want him to explore the other genres, and especially the ones which have spiritually proven, or have a good base to evolve one's mindset. There are therapies coming around with the classical music. I have experience when I was in utter pain during my pregnancy. And during, actually, when I was giving birth, we had some particular music which will soothe me. So I really want that to, build in my kid, to have that ear. I'm not sure if he'll sing or something. So what do you recommend for parents like us to get into that zone? How do we cultivate that culture, especially people who are not from this background?
Yeah, that's again a very good question. And if you are feeling that you have left out on that kind of a privilege because you're staying in the West, let me tell you that back home in India also this problem persists. This is there. The exposure for Western music and global world music is there thanks to internet, and it's good. But exposure to Indian classical music, I would say that then in India there are less number of festivals happening in the West. But then again, how many kids go to the festivals unless and until they are inclined or they really have an interest? So creating interest, the onus lies on the family and the parents only. See, I am not reading anything, but I'm telling my child that, reading books are the best friends of mankind, and I'm watching Netflix. It won't help. So first of all, I'm not saying that do it every day 2 hours, 3 hours. But say one rag is definitely less than an hour of any good artist who sings or plays. Pona ghante ka 40-45 minutes. Make it a habit that there is some common time when everybody's home from the classes, office or whatever, and there is still some time for food, or if you eat early and then there is still some time to the bed. And especially on weekends also you can do this in the mornings. So make it a habit that ek rag bajega on your music system. And in your car also just keep the CDs or whatever pen drive on. And you don't make it obvious that come sit, we have to listen to this. Just play it on a decent volume where you are listening to it, you are not even listening to it. But music percolates on the subconscious level than the conscious level. And the conscious effort so that this music percolates into the subconscious of everybody. Not only younger ones, we also need. Like you said, you used it as a therapy. So I am glad to know that people are finally, because we know the importance of this, our spirituality and the importance of our kind of music. So people are using it to treat people. It's a good news. But the sad part is they have to sell it like this to tell people that come at least now because you're distressed, come and listen to this music. Then you will get soothed. No, we have time for everything. Everything. Then why can't we listen to one time? I'm not saying just binge listen. Like 7 hour, 8 hour. Like at times we artists do this. Listening marathon bhi karte hum log. But that is because we are intensely into it. Don't do that. But make it a habit. At least 5 days a week, whatever. 1 hour, one artist, sunne ka. That's it. And just switch it off. And don't comment, don't nothing. Let the kids, husband, घर में जो भी है, oldies, everybody needs to listen. एक दिन फ्लूट हरि जी का सुनाओ, एक दिन संतूर सुनाओ, एक दिन किशोरी ताई सुनाओ, भीमसेन जी सुनाओ, और बंद कर दो. कुछ नहीं, you don't have to do anything special.
Thank you. I think that's a good suggestion. But there are so many distractions nowadays. अभी हमारा क्या होता है, like, by the time dinner is laid out on the table, everybody is dead tired. Nobody has.
Listen, whenever there is a will, there is a way. If you start giving me the reasons, there are 100 reasons. So why we can't do that?
We have to avoid that. I like the way that you put it. I think we are making to the light music. We will intentionally put this part.
And
as a parent, we'll have to be aware.
You don't have to sit or even make an effort, conscious effort in knowing कि okay, ये भैरव था. तो इसमें काफी कैसे मिक्स किया, भैरव कैसे हुआ, what else. You don't have to get into that. Or you don't have to even say that, oh, this is an acquired taste. It is not an acquired taste. ये संस्कार की बात है. Just give them impression and choose good artists जो सुर में और लय में बहुत अच्छा गा रहा है. रुदार है, सुर का अच्छा काम कर रहा है. That's it. The job is done.
So I just wanted to comment on what Gauri you're saying. And I have a proven example of the theory that she just spoke about. My son Rohan is a freshman at college this year, but when he was born and when he would nap on the jula when he was a baby, right? In the background, I would have the dhun on, like bhakti music on. And when he was 3 years old, he wanted to play with the mandir ka bartan, right? He wanted to just play with it. And I said, well, no, only if you say a prayer, I will let you play with that bartan. And he joined his hand and he recited the Gayatri Mantra. I was floored. So what she's talking about, the impressions, even in his sleep, those impressions were being formed because in the background, he was only a baby. But every day when he napped, that would be playing in the background. And that is, it gives me goosebumps to date when I think about it. And I think she's absolutely right that just having it on in the background is just, it creates the whole environment in the house as well, right?
It purifies the vastu. I will go to that extent to say that it purifies the vastu because all the earlier negativity or that day's negativity or whatever that we bring in, because we come home after facing the world. Every day is a challenging day for every individual of that household. And then why do we come home? We come home to feel at home. What is home? So you have to create the home. So we do puja, we do house cleaning, we cook food, we do diya and all that. So it's exactly like that. So that will purify your vastu. It will give you a peaceful sleep. and it will work on your subconscious to soothe your pulse and everything. That is one thing. And another thing is, see, like sports and diet. We are now very much aware of that.
Yeah.
That we have to be fit, we have to hit the gym or do some cardio and some strength training. We cannot indulge too much on unhealthy food. So music is for mental health, emotional and mental health. We are aware of physical health, and for that we do exercise and diet. So this is our food for the soul, and that is why the Ragadhari Sangeet is it's not just mere entertainment subject. वो भी है. At times even we musicians feel, oh, I need a lighter breeze. I need some entertainment.
So now I would like to understand from Nipurna, maybe because she's a therapist in our group right now. Have you used music as a therapy at your workplace, and how it is currently placed and how it is currently been received?
It is also very individually based. So music therapy, yes, is a huge thing, right? And now I think it's also integrated in the guided meditation genre, and just it's integrated in that area. But to work with kids, art and play therapy and music are so to answer your question, there is no particular music, right? Like there's not a box where you can say, "Acha, aaj iske liye therapy karna hai, to ye music bajayenge." There's no such thing. It's geared very individually. You get to know the person and their personality. Now, if you 5 साल का बच्चा उसको तुम ये गौरी गाती है वो classical music सुनाओगे, they will not first of all understand it, and they will not connect to it, right? But if you play any children's music to them, which they might have heard, they might not have heard, or similar children voices are in that music, they can identify with that music. So it is individual. So there's no such one music for everyone. So, was that your question?
Yeah. So I just wanted to see, like, whether, statistically, how many people do you know that they really use music as a therapy?
It's a very new, compared to art therapy, compared to play therapy, music is a very new thing. I mean, when I say new, it few years, of course, but it's not something that has been used for decades. Let's put it that way.
But back home in India, music therapy is widely used, and since last at least 15 years now, there's Dr. Shashank Katti and lot many 2-3 names. I'm forgetting the names, but they have researched on this. And there is one Santur Flair also from Mumbai. He has also done this research. He has done it with the plants. Some people have done it. Yes. Some people have done it with the animals.
Also plant milk.
Yes. And Dr. Katti has done it with people, and he has actually, his research paper says that XYZ drug is used for this, treating gallbladder issue or this. Yeah, that kind of a thing. Yeah.
I never heard of that.
Yeah, it is there.
Wow.
And this is for heart
amazing.
function, and this is for...
That's amazing.
Yeah, that kind of a thing.
It should get commercialized, no? I mean,
People are trying to...
So over here at Stanford, they do animal therapy. That is more prevalent than the music therapy over here in my space where I work. So animal therapy is huge. Like, you bring in your dogs and into the Stanford Children's Hospital, and, you just... even in the elderly homes and everything. So animal therapy is huge. Yeah, music will catch up with India, I guess. Wow. I am impressed that there's music for gallbladder and for livers or
all internal
whatever.
organs. Yes, that's what they're
That is
claiming,
amazing.
Yes.
That's
I
amazing.
should connect you with that gentleman.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I would love to learn.
Yes.
It'll make more money.
I would love to. I'm done. Abhi, Mahadev is my way.
So true.
So what type of efforts that needs to happen, in order to bring this therapy at a level where it is being adopted?
So first of all, I'm not a therapist, so I wouldn't be the correct person to explain this. But yes, the research is going on, and people have established their logical explanation behind this. So we have to rope in all this, encourage these people to come here and exchange a note with the
Awareness. I think awareness, bringing awareness. Now, this is the first time I've heard of it. I'm going to go home and
Yes.
dig up everything I know about it. So, bringing awareness.
Yes,
It's just
and
like-
collaboration of people doing research in the same area from different countries, and so many things need to happen.
Yeah, I just have one question on her side. As you said, like when you were growing up, you had, you were thinking about playback singing also. And then you suddenly realize, no, classical singing is my
Yes.
calling. At that age, having a calling itself is a great. I will only, few people will really get into that mode. But when you were trying playback singing and when we were switching to classical, I mean, what kind of shift that happened and that triggered that, oh, you know what, I will get everything with playback or whatever shows and,
Yes.
So what type of
I
thing
was
that
not
really happened?
commercially looking at what will fetch me what exactly. If you have to think from that perspective, then the entire focus is changed. I never thought the line that I'm choosing, how much name, fame and money it will fetch me and at what level. That assessment I never did. But my calling in the sense was that when I was learning classical music, I was seeing very well established artists around. Bhimsen ji, Jasraj ji, Mani. There's so many artists we have been listening to them since my childhood in Pune. So I was like, I know there is a lot of difference between what the ground level people are singing and this music. I don't know how to cross that distance. I mean, reach there and how to travel that distance. So सीख के होता है इतना है, but ठीक है, okay. But when I was seeing around, so many self-proclaimed classical singers may not be the self-proclaimed professional classical singers, but they were into classical singing, and many of them had done Alankar, Visharad, and so many exams, given exams. And even after that, when I used to listen to their music, many of them were like singing like academicians and with no swar like a spark in it. So I was always like, oh, okay. जिनको बहुत अच्छा गाना है लेकिन नहीं आता वो ये करते हैं. As a child, I used to think and then when I used to, my dad had given me a small transistor, 210 rupees का इतना सा छोटा सा एक सिंगल बैटरी पे चलने वाला ट्रांजिस्टर था, वो एक छोटी सी पेंसिल सेल वाला. तो उन्होंने मुझे बर्थडे की गिफ्ट दिया था एक टाइम, बिकॉज ही कुड सी मैं बहुत गाने सुनती. और वो रात के बेला के फूल तक चलता था मेरा.
I remember that. They're too young.
Yes.
For Bela Ke
I know.
They would not know.
And they would not know. And
I told you. They would not know.
And if we underneath the pillow वो ट्रांजिस्टर क्योंकि वो चल रहा है तो घर में डांट पड़ती थी कि अभी तक क्यों जग रहे हो, why are you still awake. 11:30 is बेला के फुल स्विच ऑफ होता था रात को. So slowly,
Nowadays it's phone.
right.
Switch off your
So very on a very small volume में उसको सुनती थी और सुनते सो जाती थी. In the morning, the station starts and I'm like, 6. So then I used to switch. So that was that era, and I was enamored and mesmerized with the vocal production of Lata Mangeshkar ji, Asha ji, and so I was like, ye gana hai. And then when I started experimenting with my voice, and that is the time when you're representing college, school, college, and state, university level, state level, सब जगह जा रहे हो, गा रहे हो. और music भी parallelly I was learning classical music. So I in some competitions where it was a classical music competition, 15 minute का राग बिठा के गाओ. So it was a set kind of a thing. Right. But many places it was like light music or film music. वो वाले competition ज़्यादा होते थे. और I could see I'm trying my hands on those genres and I'm getting result आ रहा है, गला साथ दे रहा है, and I'm enjoying that more. So naturally, that made me feel that I'm made for this. And there was nobody who could guide me. Okay, no. This is okay as a self-entertainment or like hausla afzai ke liye, but your real calling is this. But music guided me at one point. Because when I could see that it is ultimately not the expression of that song, the lyrics and the composition with the background score. there is some expression beyond that. That phrase of that rag, the swar, the resonance of that note, that is calling me to look deeper into it more. And that's how I thought this is where I
A
have.
little bit of learning actually, and that
Yes,
knowledge help
yes,
you where
yes,
you want to
absolutely.
reach, and not having any the results attached mindset, right?
No, no.
So that also helped
Yeah,
you to
yeah,
take
yeah.
this step. Wow.
No.
Any other question? Then can
Yeah,
we
I
play
think-
some small game before we end?
Okay.
I haven't prepared, but I'm just
Okay.
thinking out loud, and it was like amazing setup. I really loved it, and a lot of things came up. So it's one question that everybody will answer. When we think about music and you relate to your work or whatever, that space that you get, every individual enjoys one form or the other, right? So, and then the productivity increases and whatever, that just all of us know. But as an individual, when you have experience, just mention any funny thing or any serious note where it has helped you to elevate yourself. Just one thing in a short format. We can start from Tanmay maybe, because he's tabla player and he's, I think, enjoying more like Gauri Tai.
Family is all musicians, so I grew up watching them do music, and it's helped me all my life, especially through tough study years. Music was always the thing that I could go back to relax. So even between exam time, when there is a lot of pressure, thinking about a lot of stuff, going to my tabla was always there. Just opening the tablas and playing for a bit always helped me relax and get back into a stress-free mindset and go back to studying. So that's my bit with music.
Fantastic. Yeah.
So I'll just tell one thing. So whenever I do some mundane things and I don't have a heart and intent that day to finish, I think that is the time the music just rescue me the most. In office also, like some days used to be like, kya yaar ye wahi sab debug karna hai ya wahi karna hai. At the home also, some days you absolutely don't want to cook, but you have to cook because your family is dependent on you. यार उस दिन नहीं खाना है बाहर, but it's so tired. So that is the time I think the music just elevates me from everything, and
Yes.
whatever I'm doing just happens.
So I'll tell you one funny story. Because music creates a lot of de-stressing, debugging, relaxing. That's what you're sharing. Of course, that does to me also. But over and above that, the funny part is, I am a bahu of a joint family, a big, fat joint family, where I had my mother-in-law, then my Mosiri mother-in-law, sister-in-laws, then 2 grannies, and a big household. And since if the population of a big household has more number of women, we had our own charm of the family, but then you know how the women politics and things happen in the family. So
Close your ears, boys.
so no, but so everybody does play the saas bhi kabhi bahu thi things on and off, and then again they are together for the family and everything. So it is just the things that happening every day unfolds differently. So those are the interesting part of being part of a big joint family. But then when there used to be some petty fights, some team A of some fighting with team B, or there is some women ka kuch pehle se cold war chal raha, and then there is a tensed atmosphere in the kitchen or and then they have their own small battles to earn taunts, and they are intensely furious about yesterday she said this to me and this happened, she should not have done it, blah blah blah, and there is some tensed atmosphere, and they want me to give A opinion or B on either of the side, and they want me to show that, oh yes, seriously, I mean, but that is the time, because I'm so much involved into my music and my tanpura is, I'm hearing either in my earplugs or whatever, I'm like totally disassociated, disconnected with the thing. To that extent that even at times that entire story involved me and my presence and something I said which I didn't mean to or whatever. I'm also associated in a way. But then I was so detached, like a stoned person. I was detached with the story and any furies and despair or the anger element associated with it. And I was like, nothing is happening to me. I mean, I have to pretend, but I am right now happy. That bliss music brings out to you.
I mean, we don't have to go through it.
Yeah.
First of all, only this much of उसको उसमें भी
But keeping that thing aside, even if you have a nuclear family or whatever, your own tensions, the music helps you disassociate with the stresses, be it not only the professional stress or whatever, even emotional stress.
No.
So,
Well, I've always loved music, even when I was little. Always loved music. My brothers were 10 and 13 years older than I am, but whenever they played music, they had friends over. I was the only little girl there, running around and listening to music with them. And, in India, when I was growing up, in my family, I wasn't presented with many opportunities. I was telling you about offering a child instruments to learn. And so that's one wish I still to date have. And I always pray to God that, next life, मैं musician बन के आऊंगी. Next life में मुझे musician बनना है. I can do it in this life also, but मैं next life की सोच रही हूँ. But anyways, so what in my adult life, what music has meant to me is music is my connection to the divine. Anytime I listen to music, I am the music. I feel the music in every cell of my body, where, it just takes me to a place where it's just me and my God. And it has produced such again, I use the word joy because that's what it is. I feel such a sense of elation when I'm listening to any kind of music for that matter, right?
Yeah.
And my Nastic husband also. Subah mein, weekend ko, ut ke, it's like, Alexa, play Om chanting. I'm like, okay. Influence has rubbed off.
Yeah. So,
even before we are out of bed, right? That Om chanting has already begun in my household, and having that music in the background has been a very normal thing in our household. Subah utke, not on the weekdays, everybody has to go to work, but on the weekend, subah utke, music is put on, and the music stays on pretty much all night. Till the night. Any kind of music. And so now it's rubbed off on my son as well.
so nice.
He is, of course, uska music, Bhagwan Toba. Because abhi to wo rap music, abhi wo hip hop, abhi wo...
Let him.
No. I don't say anything to him.
He
I
will
let
come
him
back
do
to
his
this
thing.
kind of music.
But like you, when he's doing anything, including doing calculus, he has this music on. I'm like, Bacha, how are you doing this? And he's like, that's just the way I do it. So,
Yeah.
but it has a big space for me. Music has a huge in my heart, and so I'm so happy to know कि अभी बहुत देर नहीं हुई. I can still continue
Yes.
exploring that.
Ashirwad Neno.
So yeah, for me, I never got into like singing or any instrument per se, but I have been listening to music since like childhood.
Yes.
My mom would put like she also has like inclination towards music. She is also, I think she has cleared madhyama. And
Yeah,
so she would always put on like Indian classical music or Marathi and Hindi, both light music. So I always listen to that. And my elder brother, he's like 11 years older to me. So he would put on all the pop music at the time, when I was a child. So I've listened to both types of music over past 20 plus years. So even today, that habit has continued. So even if I'm coding, if I want to zone out away from, rest of the folks who are working around me, or even if I am at home, roommates were around, whenever I was living with roommates, I would just listen to music like maybe like a 20% volume. It would play in the background,
Yes.
and that would zone me out of all the distractions around.
Yes, you suddenly create a safe zone for yourself.
Exactly. So what she experienced in her household, I did it in my office and other places.
Like
yeah.
Yeah, and,
there are amples.
and same thing goes for the gym workouts as well, because I realized that okay, there are so many people around me, like probably 300-400 people around me. But whenever I put my headphones on, I'm in the zone for the workout as well. I go through my workout
Yes.
and I don't realize that okay, I've worked this hard on any specific exercise.
Easiest.
Yeah, so that way, like probably I still listen to music at least about 3 hours every day, like throughout the day, consciously, subconsciously, and so on. But yeah, that's why I would say like I cannot live without my headphones or all my music. And it varies. I mean, I listen to American pop music, hip hop and stuff as well. But I also listen to like Indian classical music. I actually enjoyed her concert. I don't understand it much.
Yeah,
But it soothes like your soul and your mind.
Yeah.
So
But even I sing ghazals and I listen to jazz. I love it. I just love it. Yeah.
so yeah, I think I mean any form of music. I think it's overall good for the body and the mind, definitely. So.
And it connects people.
Yeah.
I think this was really a wonderful session. I enjoyed it. I think I should have more sessions whenever such artists come, like any field, not just the music. And viewers, let us know what you like the most out of it. I felt it was an amazing conversation, more than, just sitting me and a guest and having a podcast. This was, I think, more inclusive, and it was actually happened on the spur, and it just, worked it out. I'm glad you all are here, and thank you for giving surprise.
Such a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
Yes.
And for me, Tanmay was a surprise.
Absolutely.
I'm very
Thank
happy.
you so much. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Thank you, Tanmay.
Yeah, we should host more meetings. And thank you, Gauri Tai, for all the way, coming Sat Samundar Par. And, I think very few will get this kind of access, but we are getting it. I think we're privileged.
My pleasure.
No, India में इतना time नहीं होता ना. Artists are busy.
Yeah.
You are busy with a lot of. I can see how you are running through. I'm glad you took out this evening for us. Thank you.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you. Thank
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
जानकी जानकी